Literature news and views. Talking of books.
And welcome back to Talking of Books. And we have yet again a great book of the week. And it's hard to remember when we last had a book of the week that we weren't unanimously in favour of approving.
We have really had, and such a wide variety of books over the last, since we've been back on air since September. It's just been incredible.
The much vaunted Freedom did absolutely nothing for me.
I haven't, because I wasn't. That was, I think, it was a huge book, isn't it? I haven't yet read that.
Yes, it is
I've got a
doorstopper.
Yeah.
And all the hype about it, in my mind, it's just a literary soap opera.
Yeah.
You can watch, go and watch Dallas or Dynasty or anything similar.
And yet it's had such high rave reviews.
Sure. This is what I'm on the side of Jodie Picoult here very much. A woman writes stuff like that and it's dismissed as chick lit. If a man does it, it's now a high art.
Well, on high art, I'm plowing my way through all of the Booker shortlist in preparation for next week's show, when we'll be discussing the Booker Prize winner. Results come out on Tuesday.
I've got two under my belt and now on to Damon Galgut.
No, I haven't read that one. And I remember reading his last one when it was shortlisted, and actually was quite disappointed. So I didn't. That hasn't been selected. But C by Tom McCarthy is absolutely fascinating.
And you see that they've suspended...
I know, because there was £15,000 put on it on one morning. Yeah, on one morning. So they've actually stopped the betting on the... I mean, that's got to be... who knows? Who knows the inside that, could be.
I think Ladbrokes have closed the books on it now.
Because someone knows...
And it's odds-on favourite.
Yeah.
And how I know he's putting so much money on...
Well, because they know.
As the odds like that...
Yeah. It's going to be the winner. That's the only reason why anyone would put that money.
Have the judges...
There'll be leaks from
the judges haven't even met yet.
No.
They haven't...
They will have met. They will have met because the announcement's
on
Tuesday.
The 12th. When is the 12th?
Next Tuesday.
Tuesday.
So they will have met. They need to give the publishers.
So one of
there
the
has to be
judges is out
advance
there
warning.
knowing the result and
Or
stick a
one of the
bundle
publishers
on it.
knows, and it's been leaked somehow or other. Because Ladbrokes will be very savvy. They'll know that this is someone who's in the know. So it almost looks like it's an advance. It's going to be C by Tom McCarthy as the winner. Interesting. We'll have to wait till Tuesday now.
Have you read it, Isabel?
Yes, yeah.
Do you like it?
I loved it, but I still would wish and hope that Room by Emma Donoghue wins, which today is my best book of the year.
Certainly for me too.
Yeah.
I haven't read C, but
No. C is...
How David Mitchell missed out with Jakob de Zoet,
I know.
Thousand Autumns. I can't believe that it couldn't even make the shortlist.
No, that was astounding that he didn't make the shortlist, because it was a fabulous book. I loved it.
Anthea Levy, much as I enjoyed it, I didn't think it would... I was surprised even to find it in the long list, far less in the last six.
Well, I'm reading The Finkler Question, and I'm reading Parrot and Olivia in America, which is very enjoyable. The Finkler Question, it's sort of like a stand-up comedian, and I just finding it, why is it on the shortlist as far as I'm concerned? But C by Tom McCarthy, who it reminds me of is on his Good Days, DCB Pierre. So...
Well, his, what was it?
Night Out in Wonderland. Yeah. It was so captivating, wasn't it, John? So this is C, that's who I would put. It's better. For me, it's better than DCB Pierre, and the first bit of it is fascinating. But then it's almost as if he's high on something for the last half, so he loses me. Room. Whether it wins the Booker or not, that's my recommendation. Read Room by Emma Donoghue.
Yes, I'm recommending that too.
Yeah.
All on Sunday.
Yeah, it's an unput down. It is, or once you pick it up, you've cancelled whatever you're doing, because until you finish it, you can't stop.
That's amazing. That's a sign of a very, very good book.
I think so. But back to our book of the week. Sorry, Hand Me Down World by Lloyd Jones.
I just thought I would like to share a bit of Lloyd Jones's style and also his musing on those African immigrants, which he calls ghosts. Actually, and that music is with the voice of a pastor who works in Berlin with African refugees. And he says, I speak 4 languages besides Igbo. I speak Italian, English, Irish. I was trained by the Holy Ghost Fathers. It's true that I'm an expert on some ghosts. For example, there are ghosts we do not see, the spooky ghosts, the ghosts of the American imagination. The other ghosts, the real ghosts, if I may call them that, are simply those whom we choose not to see. These people did not start out as ghosts. God put them on earth as human beings. Here, I'll show you on the map. This is where they began life, around the Horn of Africa. Liberia, Sierra Leone, Senegal, Gambia, Ivory Coast, the Western Sahara. Many were fishermen. While they were fishermen, they were human beings. But then the multinationals with high-tech trawlers scooped all the fish out of the sea, and the fisherman with the net was left in the same state as his brothers, gazing across fallow land in the midst of a drought. There's nothing left for the fisherman to do but leave. This is the way they go. They walk, they catch a bus, a bush bus, hitch a ride. It is slow progress. In some cases I know of, it has taken one of God's souls 2 years to reach here and there, Tunisia and Libya. And there, the human traffickers sit in cafes with their worry beads. By now, the process by which a man turns into a ghost is well advanced.
He does, yeah. And she is a ghost, isn't she, even in the hotel? You know, it starts in the hotel where they are,
She's trained to be a ghost. She's only trained to look after guests but then disappear.
Yes, to
be
be
part of the
invisible
furniture.
when you're not wanted, and to smile and the right smile, and almost the programming of the hotel employee.
It's really...
And there is this a passage in which when she goes for the first time with Jermaine, the father of her son, into the hotel room, and she stands there looking at the moon, and he thinks she needs to use it, and he doesn't realize that she actually has never actually looked at it from a client's perspective. It was always from the cleaning. So it was like, and I thought that was very touching. And I think, going back to ghosts, maybe that's the reason why we never know her real name. It's like maybe...
Well, we don't really know, do we? We never know what is really inside her head, other than the driven need to be reunited with her own flesh and blood, with her son, which it's almost an animal. It's something instinctual that she, whilst she has breath in her body, she will search for her son. And, you know, just the idea of making your way on foot and by boat as an illegal immigrant and doing whatever it took to get there, just to get to Berlin, and then what? And then she spends time, she sits on a loo, she's back on the loo again in the public toilets because it's the only place where she can sit. And then she's on the tube, going backwards and forwards. And you see people, actually, you do see people on the tube in London who obviously are there for hours and hours and hours, and you don't take any notice of them. And it's, you know, it makes you, it's quite shocking. I mean, it really does get under the skin of Ines, but without revealing everything about her. So we still don't know what's going to happen, but we still aren't sure. She's not been laid open for us to really inspect.
We don't even know where she's from.
No.
But she's vaguely North African. It could be from
With a paler skin.
Morocco, Algeria. Where did she come from? Or that's when her point of departure would have been somewhere along there. But she ended up in Sicily, which is much more east.
But that was because she was in a hotel complex. That she, was it not? She would have gone from the nearest port from there rather than her homeland, because she'd been transferred, hadn't she?
Yes, but we don't know where her homeland. She might have...
No.
All we know, she has a
Was
lighter
she North
color.
African? Was she... I don't suspect she struck me as Ethiopian somehow.
I thought she was Nigerian.
But they said her skin is the color of potato, which is not very dark.
No, but it was unusual.
Yes.
It was unusual, and I just had the feeling she was Nigerian. I don't know why, but as you said, Ethiopian.
Ask myself. But another question I ask myself as a reader is: does Lloyd Jones have always a New Zealand character in his book? Because in that
he's got the film interviewer, the one who is filming the Roma. Yeah. And Defoe is from New Zealand. Yes.
Why does he have to introduce always in New Zealand?
Well, because I think he bases, there's going to be, he's a writer, I think, bases something on fact, on bits of characters and amalgamated together. So if he's a New Zealander, he'll know lots of New Zealanders. On the New Zealand point, John, you've got a fabulous question. Our second quiz question.
Okay, lots of correct answers coming in from the first one. And this one, New Zealand, as we know, is hosting a Rugby World Cup next year, and I plan to be there. And All Blacks, the New Zealand national rugby team, last won the World Cup. Last time they hosted it. So the sport and rugby and everything this time next year will be very much focused on New Zealand. So the question, quite simply, what English captain went to New Zealand but never played in a test? Isabel's looking at me blankly.
I'm just as blank.
And equally so.
Yes.
What English captain went to New Zealand but never played in a test? So text us on 4001. Only sports fans out there should know this one immediately.
John, I think that's a bit misleading.
And it's a bit gender skewed.
Yeah. It's one of John's typical sort of questions, listeners. So.
Isabel's getting away, that's a perverse one.
It's a perverse one. It's a perverse one. If you have, any of you have got a copy of Edward de Bono's Thinking Hats, that might help you. 6 Thinking Hats. It might help you go in the right direction.
Lateral thinking.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
the first one again, we've got many correct answers. But,
shall I repeat it again, just in case?
Have your first question.
Well, our wonderful book of the week, Hand Me Down World by Lloyd Jones, was preceded, his last book, which was incredibly wonderful, if not even more so wonderful, was called Mr. Pip. And it was based on a character from a very well-known Charles Dickens novel. To win a copy of Hand Me Down World, text in what was the name of that famous Charles Dickens novel that Mr. Pip features in, 4001, and put your names, please. And we are getting lots of right answers.
Lots of right answers, and I'm yet to get an answer from which English captain went to New Zealand but never played in a test. But I'm sure that very soon they will be landing.
If not, if we haven't got a right answer in, or if we haven't got any answer in 15 minutes, John, I'm going to release little clues for the rest of the show to give our poor listeners a chance, because I certainly, in the month of Sundays, would not have come up with the right answer. But anyway, can we score on Hand Me Down World? Who wants to go first?
Well, Waffa is lead reviewer today. I think that's
8.5. 8.5. My problem rough. Too tough. 8.5.
8.5. Well, I'm not far behind you. For me, 8.
I would say 8 as well. And the only reason, had I never read Mr. Pip,
I have never read.
Yeah, I would have given it a 9. But with the memory of Mr. Pip, which pips this very slightly. This is a completely different book. I couldn't put it down. Fabulous read, and it's got a completely different feel to it. So it's, you know how you get special types of books that you like. So that's 8.5 for me. Great book. And for listeners who are fans of Lloyd Jones, please stay tuned in, because we'll be speaking to him in the last half hour of the show and asking him lots of questions, including something about library books.
Coming up now, and then we'll be talking about more books featuring strong women like Inez, the central character in Hand Me Down World.
Talking of books on Dubai Eye 103.8, with thanks to Magrudy's.